So this is the first part of a series of videos on prepping or getting into prepping. This is about getting started with your financial preparedness, and how we've done some things to kind of get you started. Any questions, you can either send them straight to us, put them in the comments, whatever. We'll get back to you. We're more than happy to do that. This is something that we think that everybody should be doing, especially in today's world. You should be, if you're not already doing this, you're already behind the ball, but it's still not too late. You can get into it, do it, be committed. I think your face would... The first rule of preparedness: make sure you're gonna get stuck with somebody you can have fun with. Above all else. But other than that, financial is probably the most important. People who get into prepping with the idea of, was it Doomsday Preppers on History Channel? And they're like, oh my god, I'm gonna build a bunker in my backyard with a storage container or whatever, and I'm gonna buy 1 million guns and whatever. And it's totally unrealistic. Those people are the exception, not the rule. Financial preparedness is probably the first thing to really get in order in terms of preparedness. And it's totally possible to do that while not making a lot of money. I mean, we've been doing it for however many years now.
4, I think.
4,
yeah,
something like that.
Been together.
And yeah, it was really getting the finances in order. Because I mean, I'm terrible with money. Or I was, and still have my moments. I'm still learning. But
we've been working on it since the beginning of our relationship. And
yeah.
Getting better.
Yeah, you definitely helped a lot with that. You're very math-minded, numbers-minded. You're just really good at that stuff. But you're also very smart with your money and what you do, which has helped a lot. The small things add up. And take little steps, Look at... And I'm sure a lot of people have heard this a lot of times, but for whatever reason, I don't know, we never believe it until somebody says, I don't know. Point is, you look at what do you spend money on? What do you actually track everything that you're spending money on? What do you have subscriptions to? What bills do you have? What debt do you have? And you look at all of that, and you put that together into a total amount, and then you compare that to what's your income. What are you getting as income every month? And I don't know exactly how you do it.
Yeah, in the beginning we did it weekly, but now we're doing it monthly.
But I mean, we had to start out weekly because just of where we were at. I mean, we were both
we were counting pennies, so we
literal pennies. I mean,
figure out how much we had extra every single week, and it was like $60.
Yeah, I mean, and that literally $60 at max. That was a good week for us to have $60 left for. That was including groceries?
No, it wasn't groceries.
Actually, no, yeah, not at that point in time.
Yeah. We just put all of our expenses into an Excel spreadsheet. I don't really like using financial, the apps or anything. I just
Yeah. Some people like the apps. I've tried them. I never really liked them.
I could never keep up on them or remember to update it as much as it needs to be updated. I like my Excel sheet. I can go in and make changes whenever I want, or like, you know.
Yeah. I feel that. Hey, if it works for you, it works for you. That's what matters, really. And when you're doing this spread out of your finances, find a system that works for you and stick to that. Like that's, I mean, the same as anything else. Find what works for you and stick to that. Build on it, don't be afraid to tweak it, but if it works for you, stick with it. But once you've got that figured out, then you can start seeing how much you have left over. And then you have to decide, what are you doing with that? What is your end goal in preparedness, or what is your next big goal? And, for us at that time, our end goal was always move to, move to Montana, but we had way smaller goals in between that.
Also for expenses, I think we didn't start doing this until just recently, but it's really important. If you're mostly using your bank account, you can just pull your bank statements and then categorize all like your transactions. You can pull your bank statements into an Excel sheet, categorize your transactions, and figure out where you're spending your money, like at the grocery store, how much you're spending every month for groceries, how much you're spending for gas, and then like that helps budget.
Yeah, because and one way to help with making sure that you're spending within a certain amount in those areas is, like for us, we figured out food-wise, what do we like to eat? And then that's what we eat. So that way we know, what do we have to buy every week, so that way our grocery budget is typically the same. It varies now and then because we may have to get an extra of something, or something may come, there's little variations, whatever it may be, but it's on average the same amount because we eat the same things for the most part because that's what we like. And that is, like, we'll go more into that in another video, but that's a really important thing that a lot of people don't think about with food preparation is, I just have to buy pork and beans and dried bullshit. You're gonna get real sick of that, because if you don't even eat it now, why would you eat it then? So that's it, and that's gonna save you a lot of money, is figuring out what you like and sticking with that. It's okay to switch things up now and then, but know what you're switching to, so you're not just going willy-nilly. And also, if you live near like one of those big box, I don't know, is it called big box store, like a Costco, BJ's, Sam's Club, whatever. That's so worth it, especially if you are trying to get into or build up on putting things aside. What's that stuff that there was like this hand soap or something from Dove that like you go to the regular store and it's like $4 or $5 for one thing, and then you go to Costco and you get 5 for like the same price.
It was
the same size and everything. Why would you not do that? It's a very smart thing. Now you may not be able to do that right off the bat. I mean, we shopped at the friggin' dollar store for a long time, and because that's just what we had to do, but we made it work. We figured out, again, we knew what we liked to eat, and so we would get what we had to get. But because we had figured out what we liked to eat, we were able to stick with our plan and stick with our typical grocery budget, and then we were able to build up and move from this one tiny shelf to several shelves in our little closet. And man, that was awesome. Like, being able to be like, we have this shelf here, but I'm out of corn, let me just go to the pantry. And like, we didn't have a lot, but it was still something, and it was awesome to see that progress. But just being able to look back at like what we have now to what we had then is like absolutely incredible. But because, and I mean, we still do the same thing. We eat the same thing as we did, 3 years ago. We've refined it a lot, just over time, It
You've
takes,
gotten healthier too.
yeah, it takes a lot of time and dedication, but we've got it down. It's pretty great. Lots of rice and steak. When it comes to, things like, not just, not even just food, but like your grocery budget in general, is knowing what do you need around the house. And a lot of that feeds into like what your overall goals are. And, so we started with, we want to move to Montana. That's our big goal. We want to move to Montana. Well, how do we get there? We're at that point in time, we're in this little tiny house all the way on the East Coast. How do we get to Montana? Not both of us were not making that much money, struggling. I was in college, you were in college. Like, we're, struggling, hardcore struggling, counting pennies. So we made steps, a plan, which is basically we wanted to get out of where we were. We wanted to get into a bigger place. To get into a bigger place, we needed better jobs, but to get better jobs, we needed better, more reliable transportation. So, once we broke it down like that, we were able to get the better, more reliable transportation, and then that helped us move to different jobs, which was awesome. It was a fantastic step up for both of us. And then from there, we were able to move into a better place. And man, that was like awesome. We have a whole video about it. I'll put the link in the description. And it was so cool moving into that, because the place was huge compared to where we were. And from there we made small steps, and we budgeted like crazy. And the thing that we were able to do, because we stuck with our financial prepping for several years, we were able to get up and move in 2 months across the country. And we did it. People think that you have to have a lot of money to do this stuff, and you really don't. So we just decided, all right, let's do it. And we're like, all right, now that we've committed to it, we have to figure out how to do it. We were able to use the skills that we had learned with our financial preparedness to really make that possible. We pared down on everything. We sold off all our furniture except for our bed frames, and then one of our dressers. Whatever we didn't sell off, we literally just left on the curb and was like, Free Willy, take it. But we rented a U-Haul and packed up all our stuff, put it in the U-Haul. We rented a trailer to pull my motorcycle and pretty much all our outdoor stuff. We packed everything into that car and all the animals, and we drove across the country. She worked her butt off with her photography, which we'll put a link in the description to that, but she worked her ass off doing photo shoot after photo shoot after photo shoot, and we saved all this money up. It was insane. We were not making that much money, but the point is, like, we stuck to it, and we were still able to do it. And it's 100% possible, but it all starts with break down, what are you actually spending money on? Like, I can't tell you how many times or how many things we canceled just to free up that money to be able to put aside or put towards what we needed. But really take a good look at your finances and be honest with them. Don't be a bitch. Look at your bank account. Look at your bank account and really get a handle on your debt. Seriously. I actually just finished paying off my credit card debt. It was awesome. I had terrible credit card debt. It was awful. I only had 2, but it was still it was a lot for somebody who made 0 money and has college loans. But I used a debt consolidation program. I found one that worked for me, and they gave me an estimate of 3 years of paying it off if I stuck to the plan. And, I had to get the banks to agree, like, hey, yeah, we'll do X amount. And I stuck to it. It sucked having to stick to that. Like, it absolutely sucks, like, knowing that I was going to have X amount taken out every month, and if I didn't do it, it was going to mess me up even more. And, the whole time I'm not allowed to take out any other credit loans. Like, it was a pain in the butt. And it took me just shy of 3 years to pay off my credit cards. I'm done. And I actually, like, they owe me money now because I overpaid on one of them. It's awesome. But the point is, it sucked, but we did it. We stuck with it because that's what we wanted to do. Because we saw our end goal and we said, okay, how do we get there? And a big part of that was getting our finances in order.
Don't spend your money. Don't waste your money.
Don't waste your money. Don't spend it on stupid things. You know, make sure that if you're gonna buy something, think about it as an investment, not just a buying something. You know, so if you're gonna buy it, make sure that it's worth it.
Yeah, like it's helping you in some way. You're not just buying it for whatever.
Yeah, and another thing is, you know, a lot of people who complain about not having entertainment. Go outside. It's free. It's literally free to go outside. We do it all the time. I cannot tell you how much money we've probably saved on stuff. I mean, we go out all the time, and the majority of the money that we spend is on gas because we go so far and we do so much. The majority of what we spend money on is gas on those trips because we bring our own food, and yeah, I mean, gotta pay for gas. Water is free, so find things to do outside. Take your kids outside if you have kids. You know, a lot of people think that it's hard to do this stuff with kids. It's 100% possible to do with kids. Take them outside. I mean, we've had Hunter hiking since he was 3. 3. If a 3-year-old can do it in Paw Patrol snow boots from Walmart, yo ass can do it. You have no excuse. Entertainment, you can get it so many cheaper, just cheaper. You can do it for way less than you think. Go outside, go hiking, go to museums, go hiking. You know, you can go get a fishing license for what, $10, $15 most places, and I mean, you can even just go pick up a cheap pole. And not only that, but that's a skill that you can then build upon, which can then transfer later in your prepping life. Be wise in your spending. Find a system that works for you and stick to it, and know what your goals are. Don't just be prepping willy-nilly. Prep with a purpose, prep for a reason. We'll do a couple more videos, breaking a couple other things out, getting in a little more specific. Do kind of the same thing with each one. And yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed.